We're here.
Right? How's everybody? Is everybody here? You're joining us. We're excited. We're having this conversation. The talk today, we are talking about the strong black woman. So Palm TV decided, hey, these three ladies need to have this conversation about this amazing topic that requires a lot of introspection, a lot of honesty, a lot of chasing in terms of, like, not even chasing, just channeling the different things that we've grown up with and what we understand, what the media says, what society tells us is about what woman is supposed to be, what strong black woman is about. So we're going to be talking about that, and you're going to let us know what you think about the conversation, what your thoughts are about being a strong black woman. Is there such a thing as being a strong black woman? But before I ramble on too much and get excited and carried away, my name is Phumeza Langa. Welcome to the talk on Palm TV. The ladies over here, please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Rosemary Zimu.
And you are?
Yes. Okay. Hi, my name is Rosemary Zimu. I'm an actress, singer, songwriter, and an entrepreneur.
And Linda.
Hi, my name is Linda Sifumbe. I am a freelance fashion stylist. I am also a singer-songwriter. And I am a strong black woman. And I have that syndrome. So I feel attacked by Palm TV, by the way. I feel like they could have not approached me in that way. They could have treaded lightly, but they came in full force. But hey, welcome to our AA meeting.
But before we jump straight into it, guys, please comment, like, and share everything that you want to interact with us. This is so interactive. Please let us know what you think about the conversation. If you agree or don't agree with us, please let us know. If you have a crush, I don't know who the crush is for. I think these two ladies, me, maybe, but just let us know. Send your 60-second voice note or video to the WhatsApp community. But the number is 061 244 9052. And we are now going to be sharing a video that summarizes the topic before we jump into it.
Yeah. As years go on, we've been ignored because of that very statement. Well, it dehumanizes us. It dehumanizes our pain. It belittles our tears. It belittles, like I said, our pain. We're supposed to be able to watch our brothers and sons and fathers get murdered in the street, but we can take it because we're strong, right? We can deal with it. We can handle it. And that's just not true.
Henson also takes issue with another popular phrase.
I have issues with titles like that and like Black Girl Magic, because we're not fairies. You know what I mean? We don't magically rebound from pain. We hurt and suffer just like others. And I just always felt some kind of way about those titles.
Issues aside, Taraji has another take on those titles that could actually be helpful.
We think strength is in, vibrato but strength is in being vulnerable. And that's what I want my people to understand.
Let's hope everyone can understand this and act accordingly moving forward. Here's to vulnerable black women everywhere. For HipHollywood.com, I'm Vanessa Barnett.
Welcome back to the talk. I'm Phumeza Langa, and my ladies over here, Rosemary and Linda, and we're going to be talking about the strong black woman. So you've just watched that video. I have a couple of things I want to say about that video.
Jump right in.
So I'm a huge Taraji P. Henson fan. I'm just oh my gosh, she's amazing. And I agree with a lot of what she's saying, because a lot of the time society tells us, you can hold it together, you can do your thing, you can ensure that, you keep it moving, you keep it together, you keep the home going, you keep the society going, no matter what happens, right? But when do we have a moment to just say, hang on a second, I'm not okay, I'm not strong, forget strong, I'm just a black woman who's just tired half the time. What are your thoughts?
We should have that moment every day. We shouldn't limit ourselves or time ourselves to be strong and to be vulnerable. It should always be like that, because we can wake up okay and then 5 minutes after taking a shower we're not okay. You know what I'm saying? So we are allowed, and we should be allowed to just feel how we feel and be accepted Just like that, okay?
I think it's also very unfair for us to then say it's a people thing that they're imposing it on us. I think the first step for us as women and as Black women, we need to realize and recognize that it's innate now. And I think when we realize that at first, we're able to move beyond it, and we're able to actually tell ourselves that it's okay to be weak or to be vulnerable. And vulnerability is actually not weakness. Sorry for the lack of in terms of using that.
Thanks.
But like vulnerability, I guess with everyone having to view it, they view it as weak. But like, I think it's also very necessary for us to be vulnerable. But in order for us to get to that strength of vulnerability, I think we have to recognize it within ourselves first to see, okay, I'm actually being a strong Black woman right now, unnecessarily. I don't have to be strong and Black. I can call on my friend and tell her this is what I'm going through and I'm having a bad week. Can you be here with me? You know? But because it's so innate and it's been so embedded in us, we've taken it on as our identity and as our brand now. Yeah. And we're moving forward with it. People don't impose it on us as much anymore. And even if they do, we've already concluded that that's who we are. And I think that's where the problem is.
That's very true, because I mean, you mentioned the whole calling your friend and telling your friend that you're not okay. Yeah. I feel like we don't do that because we're like, nah, what if they're going through their own thing?
Exactly.
You know, I don't need them to know that I'm not okay. Yeah. I don't need anybody to know, so I'm just going to keep it to myself and nobody's going to know, and I'm just going to snap with myself smiling even though I know that inside
you're falling apart.
Dying inside.
Yeah.
And we definitely do it to ourselves.
I think also, just to jump in there, is that we need to, as much as we can say, you know, Rosemary, having a bad day, like, you know, like I'm here for you, Linda, the same thing. We need to allow ourselves the same amount of grace to be like, you know what, today is not the day. Like today is not the day. Yesterday, actually, I was having a crazy morning. I was going through my to-do list for the day, and I was just like freaking out. And I thought to myself, how am I going to manage this day? I was in the shower. I dropped off my daughter at daycare, and I fell apart.
Sure.
Like I was like, you know, but it's that sobbing that you're trying to be quiet about it. And you're like, you know, but I knew I was just like in that space, and I was just like, my heart is so heavy. My mind is filled with so many different things, and I'm stressed about so many different things. But like you're saying, I'm thinking, who can I go to? Because everybody's going through their own things.
Oh,
right?
no, my other girls are strong Black women.
Why can't I keep it together?
Exactly.
You're thinking for them. You're like, I can't call my other strong Black woman because she's also struggling with so much, you know what I mean? And she's trying to be strong on her side, which then makes it so bad for us. And I think, I honestly feel like the first step for us is to realize that we've taken this thing on as our own personal brand. People can only say or do so much, but it's always our belief that, you know, makes it a concrete statement in our lives. And I think it's so important for us to just be like, okay, let's recognize it, that, okay, this is what we're living with. But then when we do extend the courtesy to our friends and they extend their courtesy to us, that we recognize within each other that we're trying to be strong Black women, but it's okay to call me even when I'm trying to be a strong Black woman. Call me whenever you need me, I'll be there, you know. And I think that open conversation,
it's
so important. We need to talk, guys.
Honestly, there's a comment from
Silent
Sweet
Killer.
Lips.
89.
Are Black women need to stop acting like they are just not bothered about anything. Well,
I kind of disagree with that, but let's read the rest of the comments and we'll come back to it.
Maggie_K says, I love to see it.
Thanks, Maggie.
Are your eyes doing tricky things? Must I jump on?
Please do.
Tuli Patswane, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your surname. Yes. I wish people would stop calling Black women bitter as soon as they speak their minds, especially about how we are treated by Black men.
So good.
Kenneth says, I blame patriarchy for what women go through. Lee, this is deep shame. I'm going to need tissues. Yes,
go
Lee,
get them,
go
girl.
get them.
Yeah.
But what do you say? Like, I mean, if society is saying to us we need to be strong, if patriarchy is saying to us that we need to be strong, what do we say as Black women to patriarchy? Because it's not a new thing. I mean, our mothers, our grandmothers, our aunts have lived through generations of this. And we're now saying, hang on a second, I'm not going to suffer in silence. I'm not going to do #Team Begezela. Like, if this boy be tripping, I'm sorry.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's sort these issues out. What do you ladies say?
I mean, it's a hard one, but you can kind of see the repercussions of ubegazela and, you know, to be a strong black woman back then through their mental health. I mean, our grandparents, our grandmothers, and some of our mothers are not okay. And it's because they had to begazela, they had to be strong, they had to make sure that they keep the family together, they make sure that the food is on the table, the food is cooked. They have to make sure that they do not cry in front of their children because they never want to seem like they are weak, especially in front of their daughters, you know, like we don't cry in front of people. We don't do that. You need to keep it inside. If you're going to cry, go lock yourself up in the bedroom and cry there. But now it's a thing of, who do I speak to after crying? Because yes, I've cried. I feel a little better.
But now what?
But now who do I speak to? Now what? You know? And they never got people to speak to. So I feel like, the mental health, it's not okay.
Linda? And what do you say to patriarchy? I don't think we have to say anything anymore. I think we've said and done enough. I feel like right now it's the moments that we need to focus on is us internally and who we are and what we're going through emotionally and mentally. Like you said, we have gone through so much mental disturbance as black women that we've taken this thing as our own brand. And I think we need to now stop talking to anyone else besides ourselves and actually recognize and see, okay, so this is what I'm trying to be when I'm not okay. I'm trying to be okay when I'm not okay. That's not okay. I need to deal with it, you know? I don't think we have to say anything to society, to be honest.
Sure.
I think we've said enough.
I want to come back to that, but let's first share the WhatsApp number. If I could remember it, it is 061 244 9052. Please share. Call in, comments, let us know what you think. Voice notes, yes, as well. Please let us know.
Definitely.
I think one of the things that, coming back to what you're saying, Linda, about patriarchy, is that I feel that we still need to have that conversation with men, but I think it needs to no longer be about permission to feel what we need to feel, to be able to say what we want to say as women, and to speak to them and to actually engage with them. If they don't want to listen, they don't want to listen. That's something that's completely different. But I think there's a time and point where you actually have to voice out what it is that you need to voice out to whoever you need to voice it out to, because you sit with it, right? And you kind of like merrily go around and like all is well, sunshine and roses, but back at the ranch, it's festering. So at some point, wherever it's a case of like, if you can and it's safe enough for you to speak, then you should. And then if that's your release, that's your release, but also finding other ways to deal with whatever you need to deal with. Because as much as we want to be done with the fact that men don't listen whenever they need to listen, whenever we want to engage with them, they just want to shut down. It needs to be something that we continuously say, okay, you know what, this is what I'm upset about. And this is why, you know, I'm in the space that I'm in. This is how we've contributed. This is how you contributed. How do we move past it? Because if we don't engage, I feel like you just shut down and you're like, okay, you know what, you do your thing.
That wasn't what I was trying to say. Okay. I definitely advocate for speaking. Speaking up is very, very important, but I'm speaking to the direction in which your conversation is going to. Like, I think for me, we've spoken enough to men, and I feel like we've said what we've needed to say in different ways and in different dimensions and in different, I don't know, we've
languages,
said it all.
Tones,
however,
everything.
we've done it all. You know what I mean? I just feel like the direction of our conversation now needs to be to people that actually are listening, whether it's your therapist, whether it's your girls, whether it's this that we're doing, and whether it's to the people that are engaged in this conversation. I think for me, that's where the conversation should be had. I don't think speaking to men that haven't been listening for a very, very long time, for me, I think is redundant. There's no growth, there's no education, unless if the man is choosing to tune in, like how men are tuning into this live. So it needs to be a choice for them to want to come into this conversation. I'm tired of forcing men to be a part of the conversation when they don't want to be, you know? So when I said, I feel like to patriarchy, I feel like I don't want to say anything anymore. I feel like we've said all we've needed to, we've done it all, guys, and I'm tired. I want to speak to people that actually want to listen, and that's my girls, that's you guys, that's people tuned into this conversation. That for me, I think is a fruitful conversation, and not a conversation that will just pass the ears and it'll never be there again. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, we listened. Moving on. Same old, same, like, you know, bygones be bye, men will be men. Like, come on. You know, I feel like there's no growth there.
Okay, no, I hear you. Okay, I get you. Okay. Guys, we'll be back right now. We have to go on a quick break, but join us in a few minutes on The Talk on Palm TV.
Oh.
online dating has never been more fun. Make sure you catch Find Me a Date to see your favorite social media stars go on a date to find love or laughs on this crazy, sexy, cool dating show. Airing every Monday, only on Palm TV, your #1 social media TV network. This is what you missed on this week's episode of Find Me a Date.
And this is my bestie. I really am here to find her a date. She better find love, guys. You've had like the best dates, and you've had like the pits, where it's like the
Pittsville, like, as God says, there must be generosity.
Yes!
Okay. There must be kindness. Okay. There must be peace.
I wonder what God was thinking when he created you. I guess he was thinking about me. Wow, babes. I felt like I was inspired for 2 seconds.
For just a second,
Just for 2 seconds. I think I took the put me in gum.
Oh. Is this him? No. Is this? Okay. You're the man.
We're trying to have a good day.
Hi everyone, welcome back to The Talk on Palm TV. I'm Phumeza Langa, and we're having a conversation about the strong black woman. Does she exist? Should she exist? And who is she? Like, is it me? Is it you? Is it you there at home? And let's talk about something that Taraji spoke about, which is the very famous saying, "Black girl magic." And we just found out earlier that the song we're all jamming to from Beyonce, "Slay Trick or Get Eliminated."
Hey, babes.
It's hard, right? Yeah. And Black Girl Magic in the beginning, for me, I was very inspired by it. I won't lie. I was very inspired by it because I thought, we're creating amazing content. We're creating on our terms. People are paying attention. We're sharing. We're debating. We're collaborating, even though sometimes collaboration between black people is still a tricky thing. Different topic. But anywho, Black Girl Magic. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Like for me, I beg to differ. I actually enjoy Black Girl Magic, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like honestly, for me, I think also, you asked in your intro, should strong black women exist? Should it exist or what? I also think it should, in as much as I'm against the fact that it exists. Yeah. I do think it should because sometimes we have to be strong for ourselves. Sometimes we don't have people, telling us you can do it, sometimes you do have yourself to do it, and we can't like keep on like feeling sorry for ourselves, and we can't like be in one place and be stagnant. We have to motivate ourselves to get to a place where we see ourselves being, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's so hard for me to completely eliminate the concept of a strong black woman. And for me, what enhances that, I feel Black Girl Magic when it comes to celebrating black women and what they've gone through and them surviving that. Do you know what I went through today, this morning, babes? I had to cry and I had to motivate myself and be like, it's gonna be I was crying and I had to be like, you're gonna be fine, you're gonna be okay, you're gonna be okay. You know what I mean? I couldn't sit at home and be like, I'm not gonna make it to this conversation because I feel like I can't do it. I had to be a strong black woman, so it's so hard for me to completely write off the concept of a strong black woman and to completely write off Black Girl Magic because it celebrated the beauty of African women and what they've gone through and still breathing and actually going for what they want and actually surviving and actually surviving in Johannesburg and in South Africa in general because rapists, because beating up, because what? We need Black Girl Magic. I'm sorry, but we need it. You know what I mean? And we need to be strong for ourselves. We really, really need to be strong for ourselves because no one else will do it.
I mean, it also just depends on what your view is on it. And like my girl Al over here, I'm definitely all for it. I don't see us as fairies.
No, I also don't.
No.
We're
superheroes. No. I see it as, being a hero and being a person who builds others, who leads others, who shows us what to do, how to do it, who helps us through it. And I feel like every woman who is black is magical.
Not
because we've got special powers. No, our special powers are inside. Our special power is our strength. Our special power is our leadership. You know what I'm saying? So no, I don't think it should be seen as a bad thing. I mean, the other phrase though.
I don't know about slay trick.
Slay trick or you get eliminated.
I don't know about that.
Well,
Before we go on that one, guys, we've got some comments. Lindy says, I'm so excited to hear what you guys have to say about this topic. I hate hating myself for not always being a strong black woman.
You know.
Sure. Lerata says, hi guys, I love that you touched on black men and how they treat us. They put us through the most. Tandy, I think the way we are brought up makes it hard for black women to open up. We don't know how to talk because we have never really been listened to. So we end up having to be loud to be heard. We were talking about that earlier. Guys, if you have more WhatsApp messages to send through us, whether it's messages or voice notes, please send it through to us. Our number is 061-244-9052. Like, comment, share. Let people know that we're having this conversation and should join us on the talk.
yes. Yeah.
So next up, let's talk about... No, let's go back to the slay trick, okay? Because you didn't want to deep dive into that one. Are you going to look at the song differently from now on?
No, not really.
You're still going to jam to it?
I'm still going to jam to it, but I think I'm just then going to kind of paint it the way that I want to see it.
Which
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Paint it the way that I want to see it. I don't really know what way I want to see it as yet, but
I'll tell you how I see it.
But in terms of the slaying, I don't think we should always look at it as a negative thing. That when you're slaying, you've got makeup, you've got your heels, you've got when you're slaying, you're pushing. You're working, you're leading. Like I said, but the elimination part is like, who's gonna eliminate me if I don't do that though?
That's true.
Like, who's gonna eliminate me if I cry and I'm not a strong black woman?
Because
Who's
it
gonna
stops you from
me?
showing up.
If I need somebody to speak to. Yeah, that's
It's
just
tricky.
the part that's still a bit tricky for me.
Yeah. How do you feel about it?
I feel that, look, it's a great song. Like, I mean, we were jamming into it for a long time, right?
I love that
I
song.
cannot stop.
I like what you say in terms of defining slay for yourself. What it means for you. How does it mean for you? Like, how does it feel, right?
Yeah.
So slaying is not necessarily just only makeup, clothes, showing up to the world. It's doing amazing work. It's about owning the space that you're in. It's about celebrating the other woman, right? And encouraging her and being like, hey, opportunity, let's go do this.
Yeah.
Or contact details. You're working on this business idea. How can I help you? That's how you can slay and help her slay in the way that she wants to. I think it's defining it for ourselves. Like,
Absolutely.
for me, I always feel like success also, you should define it for yourself. Don't let anybody tell you what success looks like, what it feels like, what it should be, because then you start, going a little bit crazy, because then you send these benchmarks for yourself, right? And if you miss, you're like, whoa, I'm a failure.
Then there you go, eliminating yourself.
Right? Before you even, you're in the game, and then you're like, because I haven't made this particular angle, I'm falling apart, right?
It's like what Lindy said. Was it Lindy who said, I hate being so hard on myself for not being a strong black woman? And I think that is purely because she's viewed what being a strong black woman is through society's eyes, which is unfair. And I think she needs to bring it back home. What is a strong black woman for her? And define it for herself. Define slay for herself. Define these things for yourself, so that you're not told by society who you should be, and take that on as your own personal brand, and then you break down. And I think it's so important. I think it's so important that you don't just relinquish who you are and who you're supposed to be. Black girl magic. The reason why we won it over in this conversation is because we've defined it for ourselves.
That's
We're
right.
seeing Miriam Makeba. We are seeing Mama Winnie Madikizela Mandela. We are seeing so many. My grandmother. You're
Michelle
seeing your mom.
Obama, our
We are
grandmothers.
seeing
Right.
so many people that have been such magical black women that have gone through so much, and we've defined it for ourselves. And I think Lindy needs to define it for herself and not see it as, wow, what she's doing looks stronger. Maybe I'm not strong enough. And that for me is unfair on yourself, and it's toxic.
It is.
Absolutely.
It really
It
becomes
is.
toxic.
It is.
One of the other things I want to talk about is ride or die. It's quite a strong term, because I've seen it used, and I remember one of my cousins used it for me, and I'm just like, but I'll ride with you, but why are we gonna die?
Why can't we live?
Why can't we live and enjoy and survive, right?
Yeah.
Because as much as you want to be loyal and be like,
Yes.
I will go to the trenches for you. Yes, we have our people we'll go to war for, but at some point you're like, but I'll go to war for you, but let's bring it back. Like, where did it go wrong? Why are we going to war? Let's do some introspection. If I need to call you out, I will, right?
Yeah.
We're not just going to like blasé, look past it and say, okay, no, you know what, actually, you know what, we'll just go to war for each other and then see how we survive.
Just because we said we
Yes, we have to be honest with one another. You know, so how do we ride and survive?
Good one. Too, that's such a great one because, like, honestly, I'm still trying to understand what that is. Like, I'm still riding or dying for my people. You know what I mean? Like, it's so toxic. You know, I don't know how to. Sometimes I'll know how to create boundaries, and then you feel bad for creating boundaries. Like, you feel so bad for being like, no. You know what I mean? Like, you feel so bad because then it cripples the next person who's asked you to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's so hard. Till this day for me, I'm still trying to figure out how to create those healthy boundaries for myself, and especially with the people I love the most. Like, it's hard for me to say no when I say yes, and I know the yes is still gonna hurt me. You know, it hurts me so much, but I still say yes because I love them so much. So it's very hard for me to manage that, to be honest.
Sure.
I feel like it also just depends on the people that are in your life.
Yeah.
If I say no, and sometimes I don't give a reason as to why I'm saying no,
They know you well enough.
I would like you to know me well enough to understand that I really can't do
I
this
love
for
that.
you. I really cannot do this for you, and I don't want you to have me have to explain myself every single time I say no. You know what I'm saying? So let's love each other. Let's ride together to the point where we know that, okay, if it's no, it's a no.
And I think I've been wrong in that part because, like, for me, I don't think I've been honest enough to say it doesn't cripple me to the people I love. So when they do ask me for help and I'm like, I don't say no, but I know if I don't say no right now, it's gonna cripple me, and I don't say it. I don't say, oh my friend, I can't help you because honestly, if I do this, it's gonna make me feel this way, you know? Because I know they love me enough to understand.
Yeah.
But I still am being the strong black woman and not telling them to beyond, you know, my no, and not choosing to say yes. You know what I mean?
Please try it.
I
You're gonna
will.
feel
I'm
so
definitely
much better. It's gonna help you
but I've
so
started, and I
much.
think it's doing well.
Yeah.
Like, I think I've started. It's just that for me, sometimes it becomes a bit difficult to do it.
Yeah.
Like, my instinct, to be honest, is
Help.
yes.
Yes.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
But I feel like it's not even with people, this ride or die thing. It's also with our careers. Like,
That's true.
ride or die with your career,
that's so
and
true.
you're not ready to die for
That's
it. Really,
so
like,
true.
am I even supposed to be here
In this
Like, is
particular
this-
career?
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? So the phrase ride or die, hey,
It's a tricky one. So let's
tricky
ride
one.
or survive, right?
Rather.
Ride and survive.
But I don't know, because then it becomes tricky because you're still starting off in your career, or you're trying to make it in your career. When do you not die? For like in the sense that, like, you're trying to work so hard and
Yeah.
you're working overtime because you really want to survive. You really want to pay rent.
Yeah.
So you need to, like, work overtime
Yeah.
to make it, to pay your rent, to buy food, to send money back home.
that's understandable.
So when
I
do you
think-
actually say, I am not gonna die? When your gran called you and she needs cabbage.
Okay, we are so deviating.
No.
Okay, but hold on,
you
hold on.
like that?
Hold on. That's a whole other discussion, right? Okay. But now, strong black woman
Yes.
sitting in front of me. How are we healing?
Go ahead, babes.
I mean, the first step for me was really drawing up the boundaries.
Okay.
Not only for myself, but for the people around me. And for myself, because I know I'm tired of crying by myself. I'm tired of crying on my own and then having to walk out of the room like, okay, I'm okay.
Yeah.
When I'm actually not.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she mentioned therapy earlier. That's a way of healing, you know?
Absolutely.
But at the same time, it's knowing how you're gonna kind of like survive through it all.
Yeah.
So I need to know that, okay, you know what, today I'm not okay. I'm gonna cry, but I'm still gonna go and I'm still gonna ride.
Yes.
I'm gonna cry, but I'm still gonna ride. Why? Because I need to get to the end. And if I don't ride,
That's so good.
I'm stagnant, and I'm not trying to be stagnant. I'm trying to climb.
Yes.
So I will cry and
Keep going.
Climb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what I need to do. And if my friends are not climbing as we're crying too,
Yeah.
are we really supposed to be there? Let's
Yeah.
let's kind of push each other up. And if it's not possible, and that's where the boundaries come in. if you're not gonna take my no, then are we gonna really get to the top together?
For me, the most important thing is spirituality and God, because even in my tears this morning, God came and filled my cup. You know, like I emptied out, I cried, but I was able to say, God, I need you so much. I really, 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 really need you. And He came and He filled my cup. So I was able to come here because of my spirituality and my spiritual practice. So for me, that is the most important thing. That is the cap. And then it's definitely boundaries. I've learned to set boundaries now, and I've learned to know how to openly say and communicate openly to say, I can't do this because of 1, 2, 3. I can't be that to you because of 1, 2, 3. Because of this, I can't. I'm able to speak now and to say that this is where I'm at. And I've realized that that is being a strong Black woman, is talking and to tell the people that you love that this is where I'm at, and the reason why I'm here is because of 1, 2, 3, and I'm not going to move further than that. And if they love you, they will understand. You know what I mean? And therapy as well. And my friends, like my girls, honestly, are the best people in the world. Like, they are the shit. They're amazing, and I love them so much. So my girls as well. But my cap, my cap is God. And then it's my gran, and then it's the boundaries, and then everything. And then my girls, and then everything else.
I love that. We have a question here, which is, I'll come back to that.
No,
How do you ladies plan on introducing new ways for our daughters and the next generation?
Oh, hey, that's Sis Gugu.
That's
Hey,
Sis
boo.
Gugu.
I knew you'd be watching. I knew.
So, plans. I mean, look, I've got a daughter, so I think I'll answer last.
Yeah. No, but I think you should
Okay,
start.
must answer. Okay,
Yeah,
so
actually.
I'm joking. I'm putting you in.
this girl. So how do you ladies plan on introducing new ways for our daughters? Wow. I'm going to be honest with her as much as possible. I think
I love that.
It's so hard because transitioning from just woman as me, Phumeza, on my own, to being a wife, to now being a mother to a girl, right? I always say that, you know, I prayed that prayer and God showed up. Like when I was just like, you know, hey, please, you know, just welcome this amazing spirit in my life who will challenge me and grow me. And He was like, and here's a little girl for you.
Sure.
And she's almost 3, and I'm just like, phew, guys, I'm stretched.
Sure.
But in the best ways possible, because there's a lot of learning and unlearning that I've had to undergo. There's a lot of stuff that I've had to confront for myself in terms of beliefs and self-limiting beliefs and things that I've grown through and gone through, and that I'm still like trying to navigate and figure out. And I feel that as time goes on, there's certain conversations that I want to have with her and be like, you know what? You may not remember this, but when this was happening, this is where your mom was at.
Sure.
This is where I was at.
I love
And because
that.
I don't want her to necessarily not make the same mistakes, but I want her to be aware of how life is. I want her to be aware and understanding of who she is and who she should be and choose to be, right? Because society will be like, you need to be this person, you need to be that person, you need to do this, you need to show up as a specific individual, and you need to be a strong Black woman. I want her to define that for herself. I want her to say, this is who I am. Take me as I am, or step away.
Sure,
Right?
babes.
So I'm learning that for myself. Like, as much as I want to, you know, share that with her, I'm learning that for myself, and I'm stumbling along the way. I'm stuffing it up along the way a lot of the time, but that is what I can do for her while I'm doing that for myself. Because as much as I want to challenge her, I need to know that I'm challenging myself. So I hope that answers you, Sis Gugu.
Yeah.
Nangam, so
Can I also
okay.
say something?
Yeah.
Sorry. Like on my side, like for me, I've learned, like, you know, people say kids don't do what you say, they do what you do.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it's important for my child to see me struggle, see me like cry, see me like be depressed, see me all of that. But then on top of that, see me winning, see me succeeding, see me through my tears, doing all that I can to be a good person and to be a better woman. So I want her to see my life fully, and so she can learn and see practically from that she still became this, which is amazing. You know what I mean?
And also just giving your daughters freedom to be who
They want to
Yes.
be 100%.
Because a lot of times we're being told, you should be like whoever, you should be like this person, you know, they didn't do this, why are you doing this?
Exactly.
You know, I am my own person, that's why I'm doing this. And it's part of my growth. So I'm going to fail I want my daughters to see me fail,
100%.
but I want them to also see me
Win.
That's amazing.
and see how I got over the fall, how I got over the fail, how I
so
got over the
important.
depression. I mean, if I'm never depressed when I have my daughters, which would be great, I would
I highly
definitely
doubt
like to,
that. You
I'd
will
like
not
to tell them
depressed.
about it though, you know, just
Yeah.
tell them
Be
that
open
this is
about
what
it.
happened. Yeah, open it up.
I think that's where healing also takes place, by
Definitely.
confronting and learning and growing and actually just sharing those elements about our lives and being open about them. And before we wrap up, we've got a mention from Nangomso, a quote that they read. Not sure how it went. It went something like, unlearning survival techniques that are actual fact harmful. And I think that's actually quite
Survival
Yes.
techniques, babes. That's a
Yeah.
nail on the head. Like we've gone through
Unlearning
so
them.
much.
Unlearning
Yes.
them.
Unlearning the
them,
harmful
unlearning
ones.
them. That's very true,
Yes.
Nangom. So
Survival
thank you.
techniques.
So,
Spot
ladies, before we wrap
So
up,
deep.
what do you have to say about the strong black woman in the conversation we've had today?
For me, private confidence comes before public confirmation. So it's very, very important that you remember that. Don't forget that. And I think when you remember that private confidence comes before public confirmation, you define what strong black woman is for yourself. You define what black girl magic is for yourself. You define what slay trick is for yourself. You define it. So privately, when you are alone with your God, or even personally alone in your spiritual space, you define it for yourself before the public comes and tells you what it is.
That's
True.
amazing.
I mean, you just said it all.
I gotta add your
You
own
just
bit.
said it all. But yeah, for me, it's just make sure that you throw your own twist into everything, because you don't want to take other people's things and
I love that.
have to burn with them. Rather, throw your own flavor, and as you grow, it will kind of grow onto other people. So yeah, share your light also, because we all have a light.
That's amazing.
And as black women, having the syndrome is not bad. And we know that having other black women around us can recharge the light that we want to share.
Sure.
Absolutely.
So
Come on.
yeah, you can never recharge your own light, guys.
Come on.
Yeah.
Don't
I
try
love
it.
that. I absolutely love that. I think for me, strong black woman, it's defining it for yourself, accepting it, walking in that, standing up in it, standing in that truth of what it is for you, and knowing that you can just show up as who you are, and that's enough. Those who love you, those who appreciate you will really just be okay with it and welcome that. And wherever you need to, just be kind to yourself.
Yes,
Yeah.
man.
Right? I think as black women,
And
we're
that
hard
simple,
on
yeah.
ourselves, right? And it's okay if you need to reach out to somebody, and if you can't reach out to a specific individual, there's so many organizations that can help you work through what you need to work through. If you are keen on finding those out, just reach out to Palm TV. And I think for me, one of the key lessons of today was that the open and honest conversations that we can have, being vulnerable isn't necessarily about just, like opening up and people attacking. It's about showing your strength in your vulnerability. And it's important as black women that we can say, right now, strong, not so much. This is what I'm going through. This is what I'm walking in. And can you help me?
Yeah.
And you're gonna
Right.
come out stronger. So you're not really
Right.
putting the strength to the side. You're just like, I'm a bit.
But
I know
I just
that
need to,
I'm
yes,
still-
I'm
I'm
gonna be
gonna
way
rise.
stronger afterwards. Yeah.
Right, I'm still moving.
Crying and climbing.
We are crying and climbing. Crying and climbing.
I love that so much. Thank you guys. Yay! That was amazing. Thank you so much for joining the talk today. I'm Phumeza Langa.
Rosemary Zimu.
Linda Sifumbe.
It was an amazing conversation. Thank you so much.
Bye.
See you again soon.